Welcome to the Jam On It Sportsplex in Henderson, Nevada. This was not how they drew it up for the 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open, but high winds in the area forced the tournament to come indoors, and we are happy to bring you day 2 of our coverage of the 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open. We're going to be bringing you 3 matches in our live coverage here today, and we're glad to have you along. Dave Benz, joined by Melissa McCurley of pickleballtournaments.com, Mark Henderson with Third Shot Sports, and Melissa, this was a necessary move. They had to move this tournament indoors. It's made it a little bit more slow going today, but it was the right move.
It was the right move. The winds proved that they would have been an issue over at the plaza. We planned 2 days ago to have an indoor place to come, and it's worked out perfectly.
Mark, how different is it to play on an indoor surface versus the outdoor rooftop surface that we saw yesterday and all week long?
Well, it's like night and day. You're going to see longer points. The players are using a softer ball out here, so expect longer rallies and players really working hard out there.
Let's talk about this tournament big picture, because it has been a huge success. The number of entrants this year, just about double what it was a year ago, Melissa.
They did double. Very impressive. Another 5-day event that couldn't have been worked out better here at the plaza.
And Mark, how much of a destination is Las Vegas for pickleball players?
Oh, it's been great. People love it because you get to combine a sport you love playing, some competition, and some fun on the side.
And we are thrilled to be associated with Pickleball Channel for our live broadcast, and that means, of course, Rusty Howes. And Rusty doing a little bit of investigative reporting because of the weather. Let's check in with him.
Hey, it's Rusty from Pickleball Channel, and I'm on the roof of the courts, and obviously it's pretty windy. There's no one here because the location's been switched to another destination in Henderson. The challenge with the tournament director on any outside venue is what happens with the weather. Could be rain, could be wind, all sorts of stuff. It's already gotten pretty windy. You can see some banners and chairs were even knocked over. It's supposed to get up to about 30 miles an hour today, and gusts will exceed that, and that's pretty hard to play pickleball in. So in this scenario, instead of canceling the whole day, the tournament directors were able to find an off-site location, move the tournament for 1 day indoors. Volunteers came out, they set up nets, they lined courts, and games are going to continue. And when it comes to pickleball, like we always say, keep on playing.
Back here in Henderson, Nevada, Jam On It Sportsplex, and we got bonus coverage for you. As we said, we were only going to bring you 3 matches, but we're actually going for match number 4.
I know, how exciting is this?
And technically it's match number 5 because we really saw 2 matches in the mixed doubles pro division.
Yeah.
But we are going to bring you the mixed doubles senior gold medal match right now. And I got to admit, this is a little bit of a curveball. I wasn't expecting to do this match. So can you update us on who's coming out of the winner's bracket, who's coming out of the opportunity bracket? It's Chris Anderson and Kevin Booth against Chris Miller and Cammy MacGregor.
Yeah, so Chris Miller, known as Mills Miller, and they are near court here to us, and Cammy MacGregor are coming out of the winner's bracket. Kevin Booth and Chris Anderson, who are on the far court, they're coming out of the opportunity bracket.
Both Chris Anderson and Kevin Booth out of California, as is Cammy MacGregor. She's out of Carlsbad, California. Is Mills Miller also out of California?
Well, he's now living in California, yes. So he's not originally from there. He's up in the Pacific Northwest, but he's in the SoCal area.
And there's a look at Cammy and Chris. And again, they are coming out of the winner's bracket, so they've got to win 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 4.
I think he's making stuff up, Mark.
17 out of...
Or quote 1 out of 3, depending on how it goes.
That's right. It technically makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just fun to give you a hard time.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this will be an interesting match to watch. Cammy MacGregor, of course, serving here, former professional tennis player. Chris Miller, someone out there on the court. You know, talk about players who get fired up when they're playing. Chris definitely wears it. Sorry, I'm trying to say put this the right way. But Chris Miller definitely wears his heart on his sleeve when he goes out to play, and always fun to watch.
Yeah, we're here at 0-0.
So Kevin Booth now will serve. And that will put the first point of the game on the board.
It's actually 1-1-2. We had missed Mr. Neil Johnson, who is the certified referee that's calling this match. We had missed some point there.
So 1-1-1 after the side out.
Trina Himes
Negretti, yeah.
Yeah, she makes a good point. Being from the Pacific Northwest, Kris Miller has played a lot of indoor pickleball, so I think of the 4 people we see on the court, he's probably going to be the one who's most comfortable, most accustomed to these sort of conditions. We'll see how that translates to the way he plays.
Well, we heard Catherine Parento in the post-match interview talking about that she's played plenty up in Montreal. It was interesting to see Ben Johns be so successful in his first ever indoor match, indoor day of play. 3-1-1. As Miller and MacGregor have jumped out in front. And that is going to be just wide. So move to the second server, 3-1-2 now.
Love watching Cammy MacGregor hit backhand volleys, especially. So compact, so solid. And she's a very aesthetically pleasing player to watch when she's out there. Really moves around the court well.
Yeah, partners with Jennifer Dawson in women's doubles. They've made a fantastic team for a few years now.
Yeah, they won the senior pro division at the US Open earlier this year.
So that shot we saw from Miller, that high forehand, that's really a strength of his, playing those forehand volleys. There is a bit of a liability on the backhand side, and partly it has to do, he uses an eastern forehand grip when he hits his volleys on both sides, and sometimes that eastern grip on the backhand can open the paddle face a little bit and can sometimes make it harder to hit with power. So we'll see if Booth and Anderson look to expose that backhand with speed.
1-5-1. Booth and Anderson try to dig out of this early hole.
Oh, and look at the quick hands with Kevin Booth.
A little bit of power along with it as well.
Yeah, Chris Anderson right now in the blue, looking not that comfortable on the courts. You've seen a couple misreads off the bounce, and we'll see if she can get.
Yeah, and I noticed too, Mark, kind of a high balls, it almost like she's having a little trouble seeing it.
Unable to catch up with that one. Chris Anderson grew up playing tennis in New York, played 4 years at Lehigh University. Tried pickleball because it was raining one day. Went inside of the gym and gave it a try, loved it right away.
Another hooked addict.
Yeah, there's that forehand from Miller again, so strong. They're gonna have to try to get him to play more backhands or else points are gonna end like that.
Yeah, he does have one of the hardest hit balls in all of pickleball.
And another point gets it back to just a 2-point margin. Oh, excuse me, increases it to a 4-point margin.
Oh, so now a 7-2 lead. Yeah.
Miller just really showing off the full game right now.
Yeah, and Kris isn't showing off hers. She is certainly not looking like the Kris Anderson we typically see.
That's a nice around the post
Sure
shot.
was.
Good read. Looked like Anderson didn't really see it coming, didn't move over well enough to defend against it, and that's going to force a timeout from Booth and Anderson.
Well used timeout here as they are in a huge hole, 9-2. Here's another look at the ATP by Kris Miller. There's nothing Kris Anderson could do with that. We'll take a break as well. The 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. By Head Footwear, the official footwear of the Pickleball Open. By Miller Lite. And by Franklin Pickleball. 9-2 in advantage of Miller and MacGregor, who are coming through the winner's bracket. So if they can win this game, they would be one game away from gold. And MacGregor unable to get that return over the net. So move to 9-2-2.
There we go. We'll see if that sort of fires up Henderson a little bit. She's going to be happy with a result like that, but it's going to be tough to come back from this 9-2 deficit.
2-9-1. MacGregor just hits it to the back line.
Yeah, and the line judge is signaling it in. So we do have line
off-speed
judges
shot.
here.
Nicely done.
So 2-9-2.
Cammy she had a lot of spin on that.
It sure did. So it'll go to 9-2-1, 2 points away from taking the game.
9-2-1.
Well, and here we are already at a game point.
Miller trying to serve it out.
10-2-1.
And it is in, and that's it. Game one goes to Miller and MacGregor in decisive fashion, 11-2.
Kris Miller got a solid third shot drive, and especially when you're up 10-2, it's a misread by Booth.
Coming through the winner's bracket. An 11-2 victory in game one. Game two coming your way after this timeout. The 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. By Highlands Leg Cramps, stop your cramp, not your game. And by ilovepickles.org, we relish pickleball. And we are back here in Henderson, Nevada. Game two of the mixed senior pro doubles gold medal match. MacGregor and Miller 1 game away from gold.
So we're going to see here. So in some ways, this is a similar scenario that we saw in the last match, where when one team is really struggling, one of two things either has to happen. The person who's being isolated needs to elevate their game and start making more shots, or their partner needs to get more involved in a way that the team that's winning can continue to control. So we're going to see here if Kevin Booth is able to find a way to get his paddle on more balls, or perhaps after that first game, Anderson settles down a little bit and starts making more shots.
Miller able to get the serve back now for he and Cammy MacGregor. And that'll move it to the second server.
The double visors out there, right? By the guys.
Yeah, I was noticing that earlier for an indoor tournament.
Well, it's kind of part of your uniform, right? If you're used to playing outdoors, you've been playing outdoors. Kris Miller does have a lot of indoor experience, but it has to be on your head, even though there isn't any sun out here.
So serve goes back over now to Booth Anderson.
Why? So it was interesting to me how far inside the baseline Kris Anderson was standing when Booth was serving, almost like she was expecting the return to be short. You see both of them inside the baseline, and that's going to mean that if the return is deep, they're going to have to back up to play the ball, which is not typically what you want to do.
Lob there by MacGregor.
Yeah. I would be consider an offensive lob designed to try to get Kris and Kevin off of the kitchen line.
It also got them to change sides, but ultimately it's advantage Booth and Anderson. So 2-0-2. Miller right down the middle with authority.
What did we say about those forehand volleys? Look at that. Kris reads that ball so well, gets in. He's waiting for that ball to come. A lot of power, even though it's a compact backswing.
Oh, that was a nice stroke there by Kris.
Yeah, good speed on that. A little bit of topspin. The ball gets down low. It was sort of not quite high enough to really drive the ball, but didn't have to be played as a very sort of passive dink either. She's able to do something with it.
So moves to 1-2-2. And now side out will get the serve back to Booth Anderson.
So again, we were talking before about when the pressure is on your team, sometimes feeling like any chance you have to hit the ball hard, you have to do it, or else you're going to give too much control to your opponents. And we saw a little bit of that there from Booth. There's a couple errors in a row from him.
So side out, back over now to Miller MacGregor. We've been kind of stagnant here in this second game. Who will make the first move? And MacGregor hits it wide.
She made a move. Didn't work in her favor. See what happens here.
Like many tennis players.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We're stuck. No, I was just going to say, we've been stuck on 2-1 here for a while, it seems like.
Yeah, what the entire first game took like 8 minutes. It feels like it's 8 minutes just in 2-1.
There's that backhand, so solid from MacGregor. A little bit of spin, nice and compact.
Out of bounds.
And you see, so that's an example, right? Booth and Anderson are trying to find a way to solve this puzzle. In that case, playing a lob. Neither Miller nor MacGregor are particularly tall. They're both quick and have good overheads, but Booth and Anderson felt in that case that they maybe could squeeze that ball past them.
And that's long.
So Melissa, watch this. Watch how far inside the court they are. So already we see Anderson's inside the court. Maybe she's expecting that it's going to be either a short return or a return that gets hit to Booth. Most of them have been so far. But if I was seeing that on the other side from MacGregor and Miller, I'd say, hey, let's try to hit that return once in a while to her nice and deep, see if we can get the ball to land near her feet.
1-3-1. Nice job getting out of the way of that shot that went out of bounds by Mills Miller, and now it's 2-3-1.
A tough serve, look. And so for the people out there who think, oh no, just get your serve in, there's an example of why that's not how modern pickleball is played at a high level.
So 3-3-1 the count here in game 2.
And there was that forgiving indoor net.
Moves to 3-3-2.
There you go, Booth trying to do a little bit more there. Taking the middle of the court.
And make it 4-3-2 as
it's
Miller
vulnerable.
and MacGregor take the lead and are Graphic is a little slow, but it is 4-3-2 in favor of Miller MacGregor.
Uh-oh.
You make it 5-3-2.
Those are just not typical mistakes of Kevin Booth. And, you know, he and Chris Henderson both are national champions, along with a lot of other accolades.
You know, one of the reasons I see Miller hitting that serve so hard, we talked about how comfortable he's probably indoors, having played a lot of pickleball there. You don't have wind to worry about. You've got a softer ball. And so it seems like he's doing a good job of gauging exactly how hard and high he can hit that ball and still keep it in play.
MacGregor gets handcuffed. And that will get it back to a 1-point game, 4-5.
4-5-1.
And that was a nice job by Cammy MacGregor, not getting into a pattern which she has and then catching Chris Anderson off guard. That's a great job of changing things up.
4-5-2. Cammy's been so good for so long.
Yeah, excellent singles player too.
That little rolling forehand, inside out dink, handcuffed Booth there a little bit.
Now a real opportunity here for Miller and MacGregor, already leading this best-of-3 match, 1-love.
5-4-1.
Chance to open some breathing room and really put Booth Anderson's backs against the wall.
Around the
The
post. Look at that.
ATP, what a shot!
Wow. I think that one might make the montage at the end of the day. So look at this. Ball goes out wide. Miller gets there. It's a sliding one-handed.
Great camera work there, too.
Yeah, very good. Caught that excellent. It was great to see that back.
Yeah, that's his second backhand around the post he's hit for a winner.
Now some discussion here between the line judge and Kevin Booth and the official. So 6-4-1.
We do have 6 line judges on this match.
And move to the second server, 6-4-2.
It's a good defensive block there by Booth, not just to get the ball back in play, but to keep the ball low enough. There's that forehand and the backhand, very good.
So 7-4-2.
And a little pat on the rear from Cammy MacGregor.
Figure Miller and MacGregor can get one more point here. Booth Anderson probably take a timeout. Well-placed lob. Nice job defending.
Trouble here.
Oh, yeah.
So they did a good job, Miller and MacGregor, of getting back to that lob, playing it. Just seems like they were a little too anxious to come up to the net. Had they waited for a drop that was a little bit lower, they could have come in a little more safely and even the scales.
5-7-1 after that return is long.
Looks like Kris did a little bit of a change up on her serve to Kris, and a lobbed it over there to him.
Another lob.
Oh, got right on that back line.
Let's see. Again, we're still up pretty close.
That's
that ball
out.
gets called out.
So 5-7-2 as Mills will, or excuse me, as Kevin Booth will take over the serve.
Yes. 5-7-2.
Oh, this is some great hands by Cammy. That ball was coming at her with a lot of pace.
Serve back over to Miller MacGregor. Mills now looking to build on this lead. They're 4 points away from gold.
That's a tough shot from Henderson. That's the kind of point that they want to play. She's got a long reach. She's very good at creating topspin on that forehand. Nicely executed there.
7-5-2. This game has been the polar opposite of game one, which was dominated by Miller MacGregor.
Oh, that's trouble, yeah.
So side out, back over to Booth Anderson, who are not going quietly here in game two.
Good five, sir. Yes. 5-7-1.
Yeah, so they've been doing this. I think this explains why we see Anderson fairly far inside the court when their team is serving, is that every return virtually is going to Booth. And obviously MacGregor and Miller think that he's perhaps a little more susceptible when playing that third shot. It's a nice counterattack by Kris.
Right into Booth. And now again they get to serve back with this 7-5 advantage.
7-5-1.
Both shot sides showing a lot of patience here.
Yes.
Wow, what a great, that was a good point. Way to stay in there for Booth and Anderson. Something to watch, Melissa and Dave. So players at home will often be familiar with the split step. And the split step is just a very small little hop that players will take to prepare themselves to move. Watch how in sync MacGregor and Miller's split steps are every single time. Ready right now. Right now. And they're timed just for the moment of contact, or just slightly before the moment of contact. That little hop prepares them to move sort of any direction that they might need to.
And that is wide, so move to 5-7-2.
5-7-2.
And that is in.
Oh, I did. I should,
Thought I saw a signal for in.
yeah,
She called it in, and it looks like she's changed her
I
mind.
don't think she's sure.
So now, now Booth is wondering why the ball was called out,
The ball's out now, they're saying.
but she signaled in.
She did signal in, but now they're saying the call is out. So back over to Miller MacGregor with the serve, 7-5-2. This is the third time now they've gotten the serve up 7-5-2, or excuse me, 7-5-1, and they have not had a chance to be able to build on the lead. And that is out, so that'll make it 8-5-1. 3 points away.
8-5-1.
Look at that serve, a lot of power on that.
No, it was a great
MacGregor thinks
return.
it's out.
The line judge is calling it in. That was, I guess, a great return by Kris.
Probably a little tighter than she wanted if it's landing on the line, but again, we're seeing Miller really go for those serves, especially on the left side of the court.
8-5-2.
Oh, and that's going to make it 9-5-2. Got the net roll. I know that can be frustrating.
And Booth Anderson opting not to use a timeout here. 2 points away from Miller MacGregor.
Oh.
And they save the timeout. They get the serve back.
A little bit of an opportunity here for Anderson and Booth. Sort of feel like they're playing with a little more confidence. See if they can string together a few points.
stayed in.
It was a nice backhand counter-attacking volley from Miller. Did a good job to read the ball coming to him and then to play it back with some pace.
So 5-9-2. Off the net, Cammy able to catch up to it.
Cammy's got to be careful here that she doesn't go too wide with those cross-court dinks.
And this has to be the longest rally we've seen of the night. That was a great get by Miller.
Oh, he goes up and gets it.
The short guy showing he's not so short, huh?
Yeah, that was a great point. Nice example of the importance of being patient, waiting for the right ball to attack. And a nice backhand overhead again, getting the ball down and getting it away from the players.
So 9-5-1. And that'll bring up 10-5-1. That takes us to match and championship points.
And that's just feeling a little pressure there and trying to do too much.
Miller went for the ace there.
He did, and he almost got it.
Almost got it, knows it was just out. When you're up 10-5.
Would you go for the ace, though?
Well, here's another match point. All right, Anderson and Booth get the ball back to serve. Serving at 5-10-1, trying to stay alive here in this second game of the gold medal match. It's sort of an in-between ball there. Sort of lands at Booth's feet. Maybe could have played that ball out of the air, maybe lets it bounce, but sort of hesitated slightly, and that's a really tough third shot to make.
5-10-2 now.
5-10-2.
And now here we go. Again, match and championship points. 10-5-1. MacGregor to try and close it out.
10-5-1.
And that is wide.
It was wide.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
it was called in.
They called it in?
She sure did.
Wow,
She called it in.
she
The line
did
judge
call
called
it in. It looked like it was out
I think
from my
both
vantage point.
So here's what happened. Both referees called it in. The lines judge and the baseline judge. Cammy MacGregor overruled them, saying her shot was in fact out. Let's look for Miller to hit hard here.
So 10-5-2 now. And the ATP to win it. That is a golden shot to wrap up the championship. Wow. Mills Miller delivers, and it's an 11-2, 11-5 win for MacGregor and Miller.
Well, this was his third backhand ATP of the night that he hit for a clean winner. Patiently waiting for that ball to get out wide enough. Well done.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from our winners. Stay with us. The 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. By Head Footwear, the official footwear of the Pickleball Open. By Miller Lite. And by Franklin Pickleball. And back here in Las Vegas, the 2019 Las Vegas Pickleball Open has come to a conclusion, and Kris Miller and Cammy MacGregor take home gold in the mixed doubles senior pro division. And Grant Garcia, the tournament director, is here to present the all-important prize money, the gold medals, and of course the prize money brought to us by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, as well as Head, which is the official footwear of the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. Cammy, let's begin with you. You guys had a long day. You had to change gears to come inside. How difficult was it to change from the rooftop all week to come inside?
It was a little bit challenging, considering I've never played indoors except one time, and that was about 3 years ago. But it was an experience for all of us, so it wasn't just me. Everybody had to deal with the conditions of the lighting and the floor, but it was nice not having the wind. So it was a good day.
And Mills, you have played indoors before. Was that a little bit of an advantage for you?
Couple years, yeah. I think it was a little advantage. I felt really comfortable. I've been playing indoors, I think, like my first 15 years when I played, so yeah. And I really do like it. A lot of people don't, but I think it makes for really good play, fun points. But outdoor is still my favorite, but it's always fun to go back because I usually do it once a year now, compared to how it was in the old days for me.
Has this become one of the more popular events for you on the year?
Well, this is my first time to the Las Vegas Open, so it's been a great experience, and definitely be back next year.
All right, and I'm guessing we'll see you back here next year as well.
For sure, yeah.
All right, guys, congratulations. Thanks so much for the time. Cammy MacGregor and Kris Miller, your winners in the Mixed Doubles Senior Pro Division. That does it for our coverage here from Las Vegas, Nevada. We hope you've enjoyed it all week long from Las Vegas. For everybody here at the Pickleball Channel, I'm Dave Benz, reminding you to go to pickleballchannel.com for all your pickleball news, as well as plenty of highlights from this tournament. For my broadcast partners, Mark Renison, Melissa McCurley, as well as Rusty Howes, I'm Dave Benz saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.